Warning, warning. This is a production of a local blogger. Local bloggers happen. This is what happens when local bloggers develop when out-of-town newspaper owners don't care about local journalism. Dun, dun, dun! So,
I'm allergic to local bloggers.
Local
Dang
bloggers. We're a filthy breed. Man, we got a great show today.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Don't trust
Local bloggers don't know what's going on. They have no idea.
We don't know.
They're clueless.
We don't have the ability. We don't have the ability to know what's happening at all times. Welcome to the Kerr County Lead. This is the Lead Live. I'm Louis Amestoy. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. This is we're live from the Peterson Health Digital Studio at Pint and Plow Brewing Company. Brought to you by K-Pub, safe, reliable, and yours. Gibson's Discount Center. Our good friends at Ken Stoppel Ford. They have the Ford Bronco. JP Properties has the real estate report on Tuesdays. SLS Partnership. Embrace the quality and imagination. And the Herring Printing Company. Also, Jody Tillman over at New Fed Mortgage. Also, don't forget the Herring Printing Company is celebrating 60 years of service here in the Texas Hill Country. And speaking of service, you need your vehicle service. Quick Lane over at Ken Stoppel Ford can help you out today. For all your service needs, make an appointment today at 830-257-5557. And I'm very excited today that we have a new advertiser that is joining. He'll be joining us later.
Who is it?
It's Gabe Tognetti from Wise Coatings.
Oh,
do you know?
Nice.
He's right over there.
Sitting right there.
He's right there.
Hi, good
He's
morning.
right there. That's Gabe and his crew over here at Wise Coatings. They make your garage look like a showroom. So they do the coatings on your floors.
Yeah. They make it look like a showroom.
It makes it look cool. So like you can walk out there barefoot and feel good about it. So very nice.
In your garage.
Yeah. We'll have more on Wise Coatings. But we do have Kevin Pillow here this morning from Wild Birds Unlimited, getting ready to celebrate 20 years of service to the Texas Hill Country.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I was just stopping by for a quick one.
You know, I saw.
And you sat down.
I was thinking about you guys.
Roped in.
There's a person in my life that she's become obsessed with birds, and we have a bird feeder in front of the house now. Against your best advice, because the squirrels get into it, and but it's okay because the cats absolutely adore the bird feeder.
Sure.
They just want to go out and murder everything. And when the squirrels show up, they don't really care about the birds as much, but it's the squirrels that really.
That's why
get
they
them.
like the birds.
Oh,
Yeah, they know it's an attraction for the squirrels.
So it's against Kevin Pillow's policy, but it's because the squirrels can do parkour. If you give them a little thing, they can get into anything.
I'm not against squirrels. I sell a lot of stuff to keep squirrels off bird feeders.
Yeah.
So I like squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
A world without squirrels would be a much less profitable world in business.
But Jen has been taking pictures of the herons, the golden crown wobbler, warbler, crested butte herons that are over there. They're absolutely prehistoric looking. So they're terrifying.
You know, they always all the photographers start out with the big ones because they're slow and they don't move much. So the yellow crowned night herons are always a good start. The great blues, the great herons, all those make great ones. Then they get bored with them because they're there every day and they start moving on to ones they can't find.
Yeah,
that's when we get them.
Absolutely, you get them, you suck them in.
We do.
Well, to me though, the hill country bird that I still am enamored with is the cardinal.
Me too.
You know, I'm still enamored with it.
I love them.
Do you?
And
they're all over my backyard.
Yeah, we absolutely love them. I got to admit, I was out there at 6:30 this morning. The rain is laying down an older crepe myrtle that I've got. So it's really got these big blooms. And there's a female cardinal nesting about 6 feet out of our front door. She's right there sitting on a nest with eggs. And that branch was down probably 4 feet. So I was out there in the rain. This is what bird people do. Out there in the rain about 6:30 this morning on the ladder, tying up that branch. And she just never left the nest, just looked at me the whole time.
She knew what you were doing.
We're good. We're helping. All good.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that people ask me about, being a Californian and like, well, what do you love about Texas? And I'm like, well, look, I mean, the hill country is totally cool and unique. And we don't have cardinals.
We don't.
In Southern California. And we have other weird things like parrots and stupid stuff like that. But
I was saying some pretty cool birds in California.
Yeah, we got flocks of parrots.
Yeah. But a flock of parrots, holy smokes, they're loud.
Oh, they're loud.
So loud.
Tear up an almond tree in seconds.
Yeah, they are, and they're obnoxious. They'll sit there and they will yell at you.
Yeah.
But the cardinal, though, I mean, just when you see, like, they're so magnificent, and it's like, wow, it's just really cool. And I think we saw a painted bunting the other day.
Nice. Yeah, we're having a good year. Not like it was, I think, when we set our hook on Lewis.
Yeah.
Not quite like that, but we're having a better year. Yeah. I've got a couple of males and a couple of females coming in every evening.
I know. It's very interesting as well. And so I still have to go out to the Kevin Pillow estate to see the water feature. I blew him off accidentally, and Linda wanted to have me shot and hung after that. I don't blame her. I still feel guilty about it. So
she's not a shooting kind of person.
Well,
she's
I know.
More of a chop you up and bury you in the backyard kind of
I got you. She's like a Russian mob type person. I got you.
That's what all those shows teach her. Yeah. You guys watch. I don't know what all those death shows. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys have a string of them on your recording.
Which is weird because, Kevin, you and I are both from the Inland Empire, Southern California. We're IE guys. We're dirt people.
Inland Empire.
Yeah. I mean, we are hardcore.
It's a different world.
It's a different world.
In the inland, it's a different world.
If you're from the IE.
We invented smog, whatever they are, smog
alerts,
alerts and things like that. They actually used to put us under a desk for a smog alert, the smog won't go down there.
Right, it won't go down there. Right, it won't go down there. It won't go down there.
It won't go down there.
Like duck and cover.
Yeah. The reason why Kevin doesn't have any hair is because of the air particulate matter.
That was
He lived in Redlands, which was like one of the worst places in the world for air quality. Yeah. But Linda's that's an Inland Empire type of kind of mantra.
She
Cut
grew
you
up in the valley. She's just as much as
as
us.
Oh, so she grew up in the valley.
She is the true gag me with a spoon valley girl.
Yeah,
as good as it gets.
I love that. That is such a great. I miss those days. We're going to talk to Kevin Pillow. Amy Goodyear's here from the Playhouse 2000. They have Neil Diamond's not coming.
No. Neil Diamond is 84 years old, and I doubt he still tours.
You never know. Willie Nelson's 114. He's touring.
Kerrville's a great place to live. Maybe he needs to retire.
But we have the next best thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's Friday?
That's Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
full days.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday originally sold out, so we added a Sunday matinee, and then we've actually kind of looked at the theater and figured out a couple way to add a few more chairs. So we have seats available for all three shows, but not very many. So
yeah. And then Libbie on the labels here from Arcadia. How are you, Libbie?
Hi, I'm good.
I did see you on Friday, I guess.
You did.
And I'm sorry they didn't say
That's
hello.
okay.
Here's the thing. It was your dad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize your dad has a ponytail? Uh-huh. I didn't know that.
Maybe.
His longish hair?
Longish, because he cut down his ponytail. He cut his ponytail in 2018.
I think he had some kind of long hair thing.
He does. He has like kind
I
of
didn't think that was
not
him.
kind of mullet. No, it is him.
I was like,
in the flesh. Yeah, that was him.
That looks like Libbie.
Yeah.
I even yelled your name out at one point.
You didn't.
I did.
Oh.
But you were captivated. You were walking back towards the campground.
The campground?
Well, you were walking out on the parking lot.
I was probably leaving.
Yeah. But you did see Next of Kin.
And they were awesome. That was the reason why I went.
Had you seen them before?
No. But I had downloaded and listened to the whole playlist that Kerrville Folk Fest had put on Spotify.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like listen through all the artists, see what tracks these people
That's smart.
Just to see. And Next to Kin popped up and I was like, yo, they're really good.
Yeah.
And then I, looked a little closer and I was like, oh yeah, okay, they are from Austin. Oh my God, they're like brand new. They only have one song.
I'm telling you right now that
they're so good. They're gonna blow up. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna continue to say it. Okay, now look, here's the deal.
Okay.
It's tough. I've now seen, I don't know how many days I've seen of the Kerrville Folk Festival over the last 3.5, 4 years. My first Kerrville Folk Festival experience was with Shiny Rips.
That's a really great
I
experience.
walked in and Shiny Ribs was playing Bitch Better Have My Money.
That's what you want.
Right?
That is what you want. Oh my God, I just got goosebumps.
That was a high bar. Okay.
That's hard to beat.
Since then, we've had Edie Brickell. We've had Nesting Dolls. We've had Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. Ray Prim. I mean, like, I'm like, woo! All these people.
Did you see? I don't know if John Craigie. Did you?
I
watch
missed
him?
that one.
Oh my God! I don't know if he's played yet, but that's one artist I really want to see.
And here's one though that I think would do. I think Next to Kin would do well at Arcadia.
I think they would as well.
But I also think that Goodnight Texas.
I didn't get to see them.
Oh my God. Those guys are outstanding.
I need to listen to them.
Like they could be a potential Triple Crown participant here at the or a Grand Slam. Have I told you about my idea here?
No,
I have, and I sort of feel offended that we are just like the extra in the Grand Slam.
No, you're the crown jewel, right? Because you're the oldest.
Because playing in an 800-seat house is a different kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit that, the Grand Slam is if you play at the Callow.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right,
See,
I'll take that.
The Triple Crown is Arcadia, Folk Fest, and
Wild Birds Unlimited.
No, yeah, Wild Birds Unlimited, but the Fourth on the River. That's the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
A Grand Slam is if you play the Callow, because if you think about it, the Callow was the original, the OG,
Sure.
Yeah.
OG facility. So,
And if you get booked for a night there, I feel like y'all's programming is very specific. And for an artist to be booked for at least one night and to go to all of those different venues, you have to be very diverse.
That's true. Yeah.
A wide
and
audience.
I mean, for us, we have to guarantee that we'll get, at least 300 to 400 people.
Robert O'King is the only one I can think of that's hit the Grand Slam, but there might be somebody else. Do you think you can think of anybody that's hit that? All four of them?
I mean, the Arcadia is so new. That people that have played with us haven't either been back around again or are now deceased. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's playing other places.
Yeah. Unless the Celtic Angels. The Celtic Angels they already are a Grand Slam winner. But you're not going to have them again, aren't you? The Celtic Angels.
Eventually they may come back. Yeah, we've got a group coming from the same producer that I think
sooner
you're gonna
the better. The Celtic Angels come back. I'm down.
You talked about the Celtic Angels for like 2 months last time they were here.
Oh my God, they're so great.
Apparently, all it takes for Lewis is a bunch of pretty women.
Yeah, that's it.
Singing.
There they are, right there. See,
standing around.
See, they're there.
That's it.
That's not her. That's not the Celtic.
There was the other one.
Yeah, it was the other one.
That's the head of the. Anyway,
it was a good show.
Yeah. These women's voices were very angelic. They were so good.
Okay, listen. Next to Kin.
Yeah.
Is one of them? One of the ladies, Hickman. Is it Ellie Hickman? I can't remember her first name. Her mother played at the folk festival for years, Sarah Hickman, and she came out and played with them at one point. And that was probably the only lull they had because it was more folksy and kind of low key.
That's
After
more my
that,
speed.
it was like, let's go.
Yeah.
I say I like Sarah Hickman. I know her. That's more my speed. Yeah.
But no, you would have been into this. It was fantastic. And then they played The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh man.
And it got him up.
It was so good.
And I mean it was so in they're three admittedly lesbian women that are fantastic. I would go see them in a minute.
Yeah.
And they're going to play at Austin City Limits. So, Already, after a year.
After a year of just recording together.
I know.
A year.
After 1 year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are good.
No, they're really good.
In fact, the guy who's the host, I can't remember what his name is, he gets up there and he's like, and he's just
yeah, he's talking about all their accolades.
He's like, and he goes, and you got to preview what's going to happen at Austin City Limits.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
They had I think that day was a year that they had become a group whenever they played at Folk Fest on Friday. That was 1 year of the anniversary. And then they had just had an article like on the front page of Austin Chronicle or something.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're
From the moment they started, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But see, like, so I was prepped on Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors from Allison. You
were prepped.
She said they're good, and generally like Allison and I have sort of alignment on music, and then Edie Brickell. I listened to her in the 80s and 90s, so I knew what to expect from her. I was very pleasantly surprised that she sounded just as great as she did when she was younger.
Hell yeah.
And put on a great show. But every once in a while, this is what the magic of the folk festival is you just don't know. Mm-hmm. And you get in there and you're like, Oh boy.
Yeah.
Good
I
night.
love taking my dad.
Yeah.
Because he never understands like the amount of talent that is out there in the world.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa, man, they blew me away. And I was like, yeah.
And Sunday night, the Peterson brothers, these two guys from Austin, the brothers from Austin, they got up there and they jammed. Like, they didn't stop. They just went in. They just jammed the whole time. They went in one.
I love a continuous jam.
Continuous jam for about an hour and 25 minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
They got
That's
an
my
encore,
speed.
and I was like, these guys are laughing at themselves. Like, we're gonna go for another 25 minutes. We're having a good time. You know, like
Peterson brothers.
the Peterson brothers.
Okay.
They played at the folk festival before, so that was delightful. Okay, we got lots of news and notes today. We got people. Amy Goodyear's here. We'll probably inevitably talk about some kind of TV thing.
Whatever you're watching. I've probably seen
And then Kevin Pillow's going to talk about birds, and then Libbie's going to talk about Arcadia, because you got stuff coming up this weekend. Burrell's coming.
Yeah, Kyle Broll.
He's coming back.
For On Deck, we were able to fit some dates of On Deck inside of June.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every Friday in June is an On Deck, and they're all local musicians. We have Kyle Broll, and then Jeremy Parsons, who's played with us before, and then we have Julia Rose, which I think she's new. She hasn't played with us before. And then finishing out with On Deck is Matthew James Butler on the 27th.
Yeah.
It's the last Friday in June.
All right. A couple things I want to get to before we get started. Listen, here's the deal, folks. Coming August 25th. Dun, dun, dun. This year will be our 4th anniversary of the lead.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It'll be August 19th. August 20th is our 1000th show.
Wow.
That'll be the same week as Nonprofit Week.
Oh.
And we have 37 nonprofits that have now signed up.
Signed up last night. I signed up.
You signed up last night? Okay.
I did.
And we have 37 coming. 38 coming, I think, now. We have 40 spots available, so we're almost completely booked, which then always leads me to the questions like, do I make these shows even longer? Because last year, I've had 50 or so. But then I decided, you know what? We're going to do a print edition. We're actually going to print a magazine August 25th, and it'll be about 100 pages long. It'll be glossy. Kevin Pillow has already acquired the inside cover of this magazine,
Proud to be a sponsor.
Proud to be a sponsor. Thanks so much for that. Also, thanks to K-Pub and the Kerrville Chamber of Commerce, which have already jumped in and bought spots on this as well. It'll be kind of an overview of our first 4 years, and then it'll be a look ahead at some of the things that are shaping Kerrville. It'll be a newsy, featurey magazine. It won't be like some of this other nonsense that's out there, but we'll have that available. And so if you're a premium subscriber to the lead, we'll have an opt-in thing where you can actually have it mailed to your house, and we'll mail it to you, and we'll make them available around town for free.
I think you said 100 pages?
100 pages. That's our goal.
Oh my
100
gosh.
pages. Yeah.
Hey, how do we get in on that, Lewis?
I sent you I sent you and your big boss,
Got it.
Jeffrey.
I got your
Then
email.
we'll have that when I get there.
Yeah. And so right now, like if you get the email, if you get my email invitation now, you are invited for the lower cost pricing first. So
Cool. Okay.
yeah, there are some premium spots that are available only to people who I like.
And is this the first time you've ever done
I've never done print.
Okay. So
I've never done print. So this is our first ever effort on print. So I'm not, I mean, let me get the, I have been in print newspapers since my first byline in a newspaper was in 1988. And, so I have deep print roots. I've been a newspaper editor and publisher. So I know how to do it. I know how to do magazines, how to do print. I just have resisted it for the longest time, but thought, let's just go ahead and try it. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that's. Do
you know what type of like stuff you're going? Is it just advertising, or are you thinking about like encompassing?
It'll be a 60-40 kind of ad split, 60% editorial, 40% ads, and we're gonna have. Well, a lot of people didn't see it, but I did a special edition at the end of the year, 2024, of the kind of the best of the year, and it was an e-edition magazine, which nobody read because nobody saw it. And it's okay. It was an experiment. We didn't really put it out there too heavily, but it was an experiment to see how long it would take me to do it. And it didn't take me that long to do it. And it was cool. We had a lot of fun with it. Like, some of the cultural things that happened over the last year. My favorite concerts.
Yeah.
Which is Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors.
Yeah.
And some Arcadia. There's a lot of Arcadia live stuff in that as well. So we're gonna expand this effort into a print magazine that'll be glossy with a nice kind of matte finish on the cover, and looking forward to putting this together for you guys coming up.
I see that as a kind of every short-term rental, that should be in
everything.
I agree.
We're gonna have an overview of kind of why
the chamber, Julie,
the
chamber.
Yeah, Julie, the chamber bought an ad already, so they're already into it. So they'll be there. Okay, here's the thing, folks. I made a mistake the other day.
That's okay.
I make those mistakes every once in a while, and I like to own up to those mistakes. I said in the newsletter that 550 Earl Garrett was going to be the animal shelter. It's not going to be the animal shelter. That's an office extension they're going to build. They're working on for the county. But the point of that was that they're spending $310,000 on this issue, which kind of illustrates my point that the county has its priorities screwed up. Its voters did not approve. 550 Earl Garrett was part of a package of improvements that the voters were asked to vote on in 2022, as was the Hill Country Youth Event Center's indoor arena. And the voters rejected all of those. They said, you know what? No, we don't want that. But we want the animal shelter. And they were given pictures of an animal shelter. And I wanted to make sure that I had my facts straight. So here's what I did. I downloaded every copy of the minutes going back to 2019, and I created these little files in one of my language model learning systems, which is called a LLM, or a AI, to those of you who don't know. And I said, because these are transcripts, right? These are written transcripts. It's very easy for AI to pull out stuff. Mm-hmm. So I had it write an entire history of the animal shelter thing, which actually is about a 20-page document. Single-spaced, 9-point. It's long.
Exciting.
Just from the minutes.
Exciting read, I'm sure.
Right. And so we were able to pull. So I said, I wrote this thing today, and it's like, it shows, though, that the county has really struggled with this animal shelter from day one. It goes back to 2019 when they had the thing kind of closed, and the volunteers and the people who were associated with animals were furious about this because they were putting animals down. And you remember that place gets full, right, in a hurry. And we have people here in the Hill Country that have hoarding issues with animals. Mm-hmm. Like every year we have somebody who has had like 35 cats or 35 dogs, and they
49.
Have to go.
That's where one of mine came from.
49
from
right.
a hoarding situation of 49 small dogs.
That's crazy.
I have one of those now.
Yeah, and so not a good situation.
Yeah,
and when that overwhelms the shelter, and usually those dogs die.
Yeah,
and those cats die. And so the community was like, no. We don't want to. We can get these animals adopted. And Kerbal Pets Alive was born basically in 2019 to help the animal shelter do this. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that the record will indicate, folks, and maybe I'll do even longer bit on that we did this before, is that without Kerbal Pets Alive, that animal shelter would just be killing animals every single day.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And that animal shelter would, because one, they can't feed them. Mm-hmm. Two, they can't take care of them. Three, they don't have the space. Yeah. It's inhumane. It's not good. And the commissioner's court has proven that they don't want to have an animal shelter. Really, they don't want to deal with it. Right? They don't want to adopt animals. They made that very clear. They want to be out of the adoption business. They wanted Kerbal Pets Alive to handle it. But there's been animosity, there's been issues, but the animal shelter would not exist as we know it today. And actually, if you really read the minutes, you do see a change, I think, in the tone, especially around Reagan Givens, who's the animal shelter director, who was basically a cop beforehand. And he comes in and he's not sure, I think, what he's doing, getting his footing straight, and he basically relies heavily on KPA to get these things done. It's a very interesting read. And so I wrote about it today, the whole history of it. But I think at the end of the day, it still speaks to the fact, there's Libbie over my shoulder. And Brenda Hughes, Kerbal Pets Alive. It speaks to the fact that the animal shelter really matters to our voters, to our community. And the Commissioner's Court's mission again, as I said it before, is to deliver on the product that they sold the community. And it's just like, look, owning up and saying, hey, we thought we could do it for this amount of money. That's not going to happen. And we need to get this done. And the truth of the matter is that the Commissioner's Court has also taken a turn where they've decided that they're going to fix the Hill Country Youth Event Center and the indoor arena, which I'm actually okay with that in turn, but not until you fix the animal shelter first, right?
Yeah.
That's what the voters said they wanted. Mm-hmm. That's what the voters said we're going to go into debt for, right? And there you go. So that was the thing. Now that's in today's newsletter. Also today, coming this weekend, by the way, the Kerrville Shriner Park will be open for free for people to go visit.
Isn't it like Shriner Park Day? There's
Shriner Park Day. There's going to be like events and stuff over there. There's going to be cool things.
Very fun. I might go. I'm off on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Saturday?
On Saturday. Yeah. So I recommend it. Go watch birds, right? What kind of birds did you see over at Kerrville Shriner Park, do you think?
You know what? Actually, we're seeing some good ones over there. Some of the Orioles are showing up. The Scots are showing up.
I did not know there were Orioles here in the town.
Absolutely.
I did not know that.
A little different than what we have there. So ours are mostly Scots, which are like a giant goldfinch, yellow and black. I've got orchards in my backyard, orchard Orioles, which are a smaller kind of a rusty tone. They're beautiful. I have those because I have the yuccas that have the big red blooms. I think they're called a false yucca. I'm not a plant guy. But they lay those over. Those got to be sweet. So we're seeing a lot of the Orioles. A lot of warblers, mornings. You can go down there and get your golden cheek warbler and your black cap vireo, two birds that people come from 48 other states to come
That's amazing.
And you can get it right there at that park. And down at the end of the park, by the way, the bird blind is going in. Sheet metal goes up, I think, this weekend.
Is that we're going to hide Katie Capella up from now on?
Yeah.
We're going to stick her in there?
That's her new tiny home.
Yep, good. Keep her locked away in there.
Yep.
So
she stays out of trouble if we keep her locked there.
Hey, speaking of cool things, last night I stormed into the Riverside Nature Center, and they had their nature nights last night.
Nature night.
I'm telling you, parents, moms and dads, it is one of the great resources in our community, and it's always amazing to me, like, they had the naturalist there, or one of the biology guys there from the Texas Parks and Wildlife, who's talking about critters, and he was so good at doing it last night. And there was only like a handful of kids there and some parents, but it was so well done. And I was like, gosh, why can't that place has so many great programming opportunities there? Get there, enjoy the Riverside Nature Center, take your kids, have them learn something. Kids love that stuff. That's something like my guys, my grandsons would have loved, like, because they always have questions. They have a million questions. Mm-hmm. So
and those programs, people don't realize they're there. They are, especially in the evening during the summer.
Yeah.
Really good resource when you're looking for something for their kids and you want something to do. Those things are open.
Yeah.
Usually very low cost, if no cost. Becky's just done a really wonderful job of filling those summer needs and being able to use those rooms for those things and getting. That speaker we had last night, never heard him in my life. Absolutely. Just absolutely wonderful. Really good at what he does.
Becky is delightful. China, who's the new person over there, delightful.
Yeah, working with her more and more.
Get over there. So they're no iron dingler forge dingler. They're no iron. They're no Isaac iron.
No Isaac. No.
But
Isaac hasn't had a mini bike race in almost 2 months. So.
Oh boy, is he okay?
He's still alive.
That's good.
Sometimes I worry about him.
Yeah, I would worry about him too.
That boy, anybody that carries that big belt pack with like 40 different tools on them everywhere they go, just know they're missing a digit.
How old is he?
Isaac? He's
40. Yeah. Yeah. He's from a different age.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from a different. He might carry around just because he does iron work too, right?
Yeah,
that's
what iron do. Yeah, he and Chris. They've got a forge at the house. Do a lot of artwork. In fact, got a piece of art out in front of the store he made for us.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
He just does everything.
I miss talking to that guy.
Isaac doesn't do.
I know.
That's cool.
All right. So the other thing that I put out a ton of stuff yesterday, by the way, and I got some trolls on there.
I love going through the Facebook comments.
They're the worst.
Does that make sense
I don't
to
read
anybody else?
Facebook.
You want to troll something, but you're reading every word it says, but you want to troll and say negative comments.
I don't do comments.
It's just the
can't.
confidence that people have behind, like being behind
sure.
the screen.
Being
It's so
behind it,
easy
yeah.
just to flip something up on there.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's easy
I don't read them.
Easy to be
If I want to laugh, I usually do.
oh yeah, the comments.
The dumbest comments ever were that I've had to deal with lately is the pseudo engineers who have been dealing with the collapse of the indoor arena project over at Gravity Check.
We drove past that
It's crazy,
on
right?
Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
But see, like, here's the thing, right? Contextually, it wasn't complete, right? We have no idea how powerful those winds.
They can be bad.
Bad.
It could have been like 60, 80 miles an hour.
All we know is that at the airport, they had 50 mile an hour
Yeah.
straight line winds recorded over there. And I'm telling you right now, something hit that thing and it took it down. I mean, it hit it hard.
Yeah.
Because it's under, there had things that were under it, right? They were fixing, they were still working on it.
Right. It was definitely not ready. I mean, they didn't probably expect that weather at all.
No,
so.
I mean, it was like, you expect the worst, but it's gonna be. I'm sure they'll fix it, and it's gonna be a really cool venue when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Wonder how
be
far that
awesome.
set them back.
I know,
was like
I mean, but-
breaking my heart
So
when I drove
sad.
by. I was like,
And I feel bad that I subjected them to all those idiotic comments because you have all these idiot it was engineered. It's like, look, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
If it's still in construction, it's
Yeah.
vulnerable to
Right.
weather or fire or whatever it may be. So everyone needs to calm down. But yesterday, of course, we had a story about the legislature is continuing to crack down on LGBTQ plus kids and DEI. And they passed a law that basically, look, if you're going to join a club in high school now, you have to have parental permission, no matter what the club is, because they're worried there might be gay kids in that. So, of course, all the comments came out. You could see how wonderfully, I don't know. How should I say it?
That's why I don't read the comments.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
You don't want to ask me about that. Fire will start coming out.
People used to ask, all the time, why is there a black student union, not a white student union? Well, because the white student union would be the KKK. The black student unions were created because they weren't allowed into the other institutions, right? Back in the day. People forget that little.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I grew up in a very diverse community, See, and we had all those. We had the Chicano Club, we had the Black Club, Black Student Union. We had all those clubs because, they weren't included, and so those were the things that were in there. And here's the thing, right? That frustrates me about this DEI conversation is that it's turned into this discussion. And here's how I looked at DEI, right? It's being respectful of saying things like, here's the thing that we used to think was funny, right? Oh, Kevin Pillow's just a big dumb Pollock, right? Maybe not so funny anymore, right? Not, everyone used to have a good Polish joke. Maybe that's not funny. Maybe we should, think twice about that. And being respectful of other people's backgrounds and experiences, So, like Libbie, I'm biased against dancers, right?
Okay.
But I need to understand your we can insult everybody, right? You dancer dorks. Theater kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been there, done that.
Theater kids.
Yeah.
Always dorks, But
All of us.
No, you're not. You're not.
Considering that how many billions of dollars are spent on the entertainment industry by everyone everywhere.
Yeah.
You love us. You just don't want to admit it.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, right?
What would the world be without actors? Come on, you wouldn't have your movies. You wouldn't have.
That's the thing I love about it too. Is that bird watchers, weirdos. You should be shooting those birds. No,
He shook his head. Okay.
It's like
yeah,
we embrace it.
Yeah. But
Bring it on.
It's You're right. Equity is about embracing people. Inclusion is about including others into the conversation. Diversity is celebrating the diversity, and you see a lot of these idiots out there like Charlie Kirk and these guys, these right-wing fools out there who are like, diversity doesn't make us better. Show us an example of diversity has made us better. And I love it when they show up like the U.S. Olympic team, the diversity of the Olympic team. Like you would not have a dominant American Olympic team without diversity and equity, basically. So anyway, but and there's some things I don't know how to feel about. I don't know how to feel about some things, but I'm glad that we can have a conversation about what is inclusive and what is equitable. And we have so long been a society that has been non-inclusive and non-equitable. And we see that in our history, but we want to cover that up. Mm-hmm. But that was part of that. And speaking of covering stuff up, the legislature wasn't done yet. Dun, dun, dun. They, let me see if I have let me give you this. Let me give you this other thing here.
I'm scared.
Are you ready for this?
It's another
I tend to
life-altering.
Yeah, I tend to avoid the news because then I just spiral downward and I can't get out again. So I'm good. Thanks, Lewis.
Texas Senate Bill 13 has been sent to the governor's office. The governor's office to sign. I'm sure Greg Abbott will roll up and sign it. What?
Diversity and inclusion.
I'm sorry,
Lewis.
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that.
That includes Governor Abbott.
I know, Governor Abbott. He will probably sign this bill. Parents get access to library catalogs and can create do not check out lists for their children. Plus, they receive records of what their kids borrow. So a kid has no privacy to look at anything they want to look at in the library. So I don't know. Content restrictions.
Promise you that doesn't go well.
Prohibits materials deemed harmful, indecent, profane, or pervasively vulgar, along with anything linking to prohibited online content. Advisory councils allows for local parent majority councils to review materials and make recommendations. Creates formal procedures for challenging books with materials removed from access during review. Requires school board approval for new acquisitions after public review posts. And the potential impacts on this are significant.
Yeah.
Right? Every book acquisition now or donation needs board approval with 30-day public review periods. So here's and some of this already exists already. Like I bought some books that I thought were really cool for the children's library over at the Butthallsworth Memorial Library. At the butt, and maybe I should just call it that, the butt. What a great
20
name.
years. 20 years we've worked for the foundation, and those jokes they never get old.
Yeah, it's like my grandson.
Never
the
get
Butt
old.
Foundation. Anyway, here's the deal. So I donated some books, and they had to make sure they were okay. Now these books were basically written in the 60s. So they were pretty harmless for the most part, but still, they may have some problems there. But librarians you got to process all this stuff. So routine stuff, they would say, we'll put it in the deal. Thanks so much for that. They don't have to have it approved. The individual parent restriction lists. So a parent says, you cannot read Lord of the Rings, you cannot read Star Wars. They'd have their own individual lists. Mm-hmm. So. Perverse incentives. The remove during challenge provision means anyone can temporarily ban any book by just filing a form. You don't like a book, you file a complaint. They got to remove it. What defines profane chaos or profane content? It is chaotic.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's my band name.
And indecent profane chaos. That's a good brand name.
Isn't it?
That is great.
Profane content and indecent content are vague enough to create wildly inconsistent interpretations. What one person considers grossly offensive language may not be standard vocabulary to another person, or maybe fine. I particularly enjoy the F word, but that's offensive to some people. But to others, it's like, hey, we speak the same language. School librarians might just leave rather than deal with this nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's already been happening to teachers. So
Teachers would have to self-censor to avoid controversy, potentially removing materials that are perfectly appropriate, but might be this. And James Tallarico, who's the representative from the San Antonio area, who Greg Abbott despises.
Thank God
I
he's
like
there,
him.
though.
Yeah. Who's like, so you're saying that the ultimate novel of Texas, Lonesome Dove,
Yeah.
which is
It's
profane.
Yep.
and has
which I read. I have read 3 times. Read the first time in high school as assigned to by my teacher.
Yeah.
The wonderful and marvelous Donna Peacock, and changed my life.
I read that book. I still argue that's the best book I've ever read.
Everyone really
it's up there. It's absolutely up there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have read it 3 times.
So what are they going to do with that one? Just like take it away?
They got to take it out of there. I mean,
not the beloved lonesome dove.
They hear worse things at the library than they do in school.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do.
Right. The library's going to turn them gay. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
because that's how it works.
That's how it works. It's going to turn them gay. So, or transgender or whatever it may be. So that's
whatever scares them.
Yeah, whatever scares them this week.
It just feels like a run in the wrong direction.
It does.
It's just like, okay, yeah, like we have a problem with cell phones and kids getting access to all of these things that they shouldn't see, but let's ban books.
Yeah.
But let's ban books. That's what we should do.
Because kids are reading books.
Because kids are so reading books these days.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Anyway, the other thing that cracked me up the other day too, just as an aside, this is my one pet peeve about immigration.
The one.
Here's the so you saw these videos, right?
Making it simple, Lewis.
I know they ran in. I
got a list.
I ran into a construction site in Florida, in Tallahassee, right? And they arrested like 100 guys, and these guys are all in their work gear. You know, they all have their kind of they're in the what is the kind of the neon
their
orange.
regalia.
Yeah, like the work. Yeah, like the
like
vests, the work vests.
They're working appropriately, right? They're following the rules, right? But yeah, they're illegal, and they're arresting these guys. And there's video of ICE running, screaming at these guys, like, "Sit your ass down, motherfucker!" kind of stuff, that kind of stuff, right? And get on the ground, and but like, why are they not arresting the owners of the construction company? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the deal. This is the way I think about this. If you are a company and you're hiring illegal immigrants, you should be fined $1 million for every illegal immigrant you hire.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's $100 million fine for that deal. But would companies? It's so frustrating. Like we have this. Like okay, so the company doesn't get fined. If they get fined, it's not that much money. It's like maybe $1,000 a worker, $2,000 a worker. You see it all the time. ICE will put out there, oh, we did a labor enforcement deal. We fined this company $50,000. Well, that's a drop in the bucket for some of these guys. Like, okay, we'll pay that fine. You know, but you got to really hit them where it hurts on this deal. Mm-hmm. You want to stop that illegal immigration issue? You stop it from happening at the construction sites, at the farm sites, all these other sites, and then you'll see what happens. But stop it.
Construction will stop is what will happen.
Construction will stop. Those jobs will not be filled.
Right.
Because other people won't take those jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So then
and a lot of the time it's like these other staffing companies that are trying to fill these labor positions and they're just trying to get people in there because they're paid to put people in these positions.
Right.
So they're just trying to fill it.
Yep.
There's without getting it, Michael Moore, film producer, has some stuff out there that a lot of people just don't like. But there is one movie he has out there, I'm sure Louis is familiar with it because it involved our part of the country a lot, but it was called Day in the Life Without a Mexican.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen it, I encourage anybody just to look at what the trickle-down effect would be by eliminating that workforce, by eliminating those people in general, what it'll mean to these companies. We're talking about fining the companies. When you can't pick your oranges and you can't build your houses, you don't need any construction.
Right.
You don't need that company. All of a sudden, it's dead. And people say, well, I'll sell my groves. I'll sell the groves now, and I'll sell it to the developers. Developers don't want you when you don't have anybody to build the development.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a really good listen just to kind of go back. It's a little old school. I know a lot of people are not fans of Michael. But it's a really good movie that shows a lot of what's happening today. It was made, I'll bet it's a 20 year-old movie. I'm not sure how old it is.
Yeah, it's
I like
you're right.
Michael
Yeah.
Moore. That's
A day.
By the way,
I believe it's
Day
a
Without
Day
a
in the
Mexican.
Life Without a Mexican, or Day Without a Mexican.
Yeah.
Michael Moore.
And what's interesting about it too, like if you go to California and you go to the fields and you see the labor field, it's not even Mexicans necessarily doing the work anymore. It's indigenous people from South America and Central America who are doing the work. Because the Mexicans aren't doing the work anymore either. I mean, or they're staying in Mexico. So that's part of the issue.
It isn't usually Mexicans that are coming up. It's
They don't. Some of them even speak Spanish. They speak Mayan.
Guatemalans and that sort of thing.
All right. By the way, important breaking news available now. Are you ready for this, Libbie?
Yeah.
The snack wrap is going to come back to McDonald's soon. July 10th is the day that it'll come back for the first time in 5 years.
That's
important.
That's good news.
Yeah.
I've never had a snack wrap.
Neither have I.
What constitutes a snack wrap?
I don't know.
Like fried chicken and some lettuce.
I think
tortilla.
A wrap is whitewashing of tortillas. It's like a soft taco. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
It's like.
Are we not allowed to say tortilla anymore?
No, tortilla is okay, but I don't know if this piece of bread would be classified as a tortilla.
I was going to say, if McDonald's
Maybe
made
it's a
tortilla,
wrap.
like a flatbread.
Like
Nobody
knows. Like a flatbread, you wouldn't call a pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a flatbread.
But
you wouldn't call a wrap a taco.
Right. But
it's still made with like a tortilla thing.
Yeah, that's still what it is, though. I guess it could be made with like naan or something like that, which is
I'm not a chef.
Delightful as well.
I doubt McDonald's is making naan, but what do I know?
Keep baiting us with the McRib. Forget the wrap. I never knew it was there.
Nobody knows what's in the McRib.
I've never eaten a McRib.
But you know people who love it, though, right?
I know they do.
I know
That's
people love that thing. What was I looking for? I was looking for something interesting the other day. Dang it! What did I do with this? All right, what do we got going on today with you? I know what I was looking for. Where did it go?
We're supposed to ask them what they're doing this weekend.
Wait a minute, I had something for
what the arcade
Here
is
it
doing.
is. Here it is. Wait,
What's happening with the theaters in town? That's why we're here.
Wild Birds Unlimited has got a whole slew of things to help with your pollinators right now.
Yeah.
You can create a pollinator-friendly habitat with native plants. And if you're a member of Wild Birds Unlimited, you can get a promo code thing through July 31st. It's called the Certified Wildlife Habitat Program, right?
Yeah, that's through the National Wildlife Federation and our franchise as well. There's a nice little deal, but it certifies your yard and shows 4 basic needs that you'll do in your yard: housing, water, native plants, food. That you offer, and maintain a safe and healthy environment in your yard. And that's kind of our grassroots effort. If we do it at each yard, then we don't need to do the big, with the Bird City Kerrville kind of thing slides in behind it. Each individual can do it in their yard. And that can start at the new builders as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that we need to, it's a great opportunity for you guys as well.
It's, and Louis, I'm going to slide this in here real quick because since you mentioned NWF, but you guys will be the first to hear this. Isaac knows about this, but our store just got recognized by National Wildlife Federation, Cornell, Wild Birds Unlimited.
Nice.
I'll be heading up to Columbus, Ohio in 2 weeks. We are recognized as one of only 3 in the country as a Save the Songbirds Hero Award.
That's outstanding.
Wow, that's
really
cool.
big for people in our, for us geeks, for us
Wait a minute, hold on.
And what I'm even more proud to say is this is an extension of award. There's actually 3 people given this award. This is an extension of 20 years. And the training we've done at our store and the efforts we've had in our store. The cool thing about this is nobody's ever won this award more than once. And this will be our 3rd time.
Wow.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
The only people in the country that have been awarded this more than once, and this will be.
You waited to tell us this.
20 years.
Wow.
We're pretty proud of it.
That's very
exciting. As you should be.
Put some things together. We're a little humbled. Don't know what to expect up in Columbus, but this is a big deal for bird people.
Very, very cool.
Bird people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go bird people.
Folk.
For the bird
We're okay
folk.
with that. I'll make shirts with that. That's okay.
I love it. I love that idea. I mean, you guys have done so many great things in the bird community. I mean, like, you've changed my perception about it too, because I just love the enthusiasm. And I also think too that, John and Sandy Wolfmiller helped out a lot too, but it is so cool to go into your store and be delighted by all the little things that you have there as well. So
the smiles never get old.
No,
they never do. We had a nice group of probably 4 or 5 and 6-year-olds yesterday. And
really?
When I pulled a rug out and we just sat on the floor and we started going through books and talking and playing, and the moms were looking at me. They're going, "Are they bothering you?" I went, "No, I think I'm bothering them more than anything else." When they get tired of the old bald guy talking about birds, they'll get up and leave. That's
awesome.
Yeah, they will.
And we had a real good conversation. So it was nice. It goes towards, and that's kind of what we're being recognized as, is our 20-year culture of education through birds. We've trained almost every store in Texas that's come through Wild Birds Unlimited. They've all come through Kerrville at one point.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the last 15 years.
That's great.
So we've helped train them and hopefully develop that culture. Again, just not retail. We don't just sell stuff. We teach stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's catchy. It really is catchy.
It really
Just
is
like you, Louis, I saw you light up the first time you sat at John and Sandy's, and I just went, "Oh, he's there.
He's there." I know.
For somebody who's not even interested, he saw it. He lit up, and he has questions. And that's what we thrive on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of thriving, Amy Goodyear's here to talk about the Playhouse 2000. Now, when does are you going to leave?
I'm going to don't you have some guys come up?
Oh no, we don't like those guys.
They just give you money. You don't like them.
Yeah.
We've got floors to sell.
I know. He'll come on at some point. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Here's the deal. When does Jeffrey Brown do another singing and dancing combo? Can he come on the show and sing and dance for us? Because he's a really good singer.
I can almost guarantee he will not do that. Yes, he is.
How is he so camera shy when he is a performer?
I don't know that I can speak for him in that, other than he's a very busy man, doing a lot of things, and he leaves a lot of that kind of stuff to me. So,
and you're a performer naturally,
I am.
of course, but all right. So you got things coming up at Playhouse 2000, aka the VK Garage Theater, aka the Callow Theater.
The Callow City Center for the Performing Arts is really all you need to remember.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a complex.
all those things. It is a complex.
It's a compound.
It is a performing arts center, in fact.
Yes.
Yes. It is a campus. Yes.
What is happening soon?
What is happening soon? Well, just in 2 days, we've already mentioned it, but we have Jack Wright's Neil Diamond tribute, which will be in the VK Garage Theater because, of course, the Callow Theater is still under construction, but everything's going really well there. So we're excited to see the progress. And if you've been by, you may have seen we've already got the cranes putting the big new AC units up. It's exciting to drive by and take a look what's going on. But things still happening in the VK this weekend. Jack's Neil Diamond tribute will be happening. And like I said, it's Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. We originally Friday and Saturday were sold out, but we did open up some additional seating. So we actually have seats available for all 3 concerts. However, our VIP experience, which is about an hour and a half before the show, free drinks and hors d'oeuvres and all that kind of stuff, and you get to meet Jack, those are sold out.
Wow.
But you can enjoy the concerts anyway. But we've got the VK set up with table seating around the stage, and then there's also additional riser seating in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'll be there on Saturday on my birthday, so I'm looking forward to hearing Jack's concert.
What a way to celebrate.
So that's this weekend. So you can still get tickets for the concert itself.
What's your favorite Neil Diamond song? Go.
I am. I said.
I am. Okay. Not the silly E.T. song?
I mean, I am
Turn on your hot lights. No?
Let it shine wherever you go.
Okay.
Let it make a happy glow for all the world.
Libby, favorite Neil Diamond song? Go.
I only know Sweet Caroline.
Okay.
As most
all right.
many people do, yes.
Kevin Pillow, Neil Diamond?
I'm a Red Sox fan. Sweet Caroline.
All right.
Every 7th inning.
How the hell are you a Red Sox fan? Wait.
It's a long story.
All right.
I played golf with Roger Clemens one time. It turned me into a lifelong fan.
Oh my God.
Long time ago.
Okay. All right.
He went to the
There you
Yankees,
go.
and I just hate him.
Anyway, I'm sure there will be a moment to come and sing along with Sweet Caroline and do all of that. I'm sure that will be part of the show.
Yeah.
So that's this weekend. And then next weekend, June 13th and 14th, is Shakespeare in the Park. And this is, I believe, our 14th
Is
annual
Marcus Goodyear
Shakespeare
in
in
it?
the Park. He is not. But it's a
Why
great
not?
cast. Just he has a lot of other things going on,
He
man.
was a dead body a lot of times.
He was not a dead body in Shakespeare, though he did get killed. But
He got killed, right?
he did get killed. That was, yes, in Richard III, he did get killed. But we're doing The Tempest this year, which is pretty much widely considered to be Shakespeare's final play. And if you don't know The Tempest, it's kind of unusual because it's a little bit of a fantasy story.
Yeah.
They get shipwrecked on this island, and it has this wizard that runs the island, and there's all these kind of fairies around doing mischief. And it's a lot of fun. And Jessica Sturm, who's, of course, the theater teacher at Tivy High School, she has directed our Shakespeare in the Park for several years. She has a great concept for this one. Basically, it's set in sort of a 90s grunge look. So, and then she's incorporated a lot of music. So it's got a lot of 90s era music in it. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss that. And as always, it's free and open to the public. And we're very grateful to the City of Kerrville and the Community Foundation for the support there. And it starts at 8 p.m. out at and in Louise Hayes Park at that outdoor amphitheater. Bring your picnic blanket and a picnic basket and just enjoy some wonderful free Shakespeare. And, people are like, well, I don't understand Shakespeare. It's too hard to follow. I promise you, we make it entertaining, and you will be able to follow the story, and you'd be surprised. Even kids can get into it. It's funny, and so just encourage you to bring out the family, and it's a great cultural experience that's just also a lot of fun. So
now here's the deal. On Broadway right now, Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal are playing Othello. There's 4 tickets available. Left of orchestra, right?
1,200.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Left on the floor.
On the floor, in the orchestra area.
$1,200 a piece.
Ooh,
that's a guess.
Pretty good. You didn't go over. But
okay.
You didn't go over. It was $921 per piece.
I did go over, so $921 is less than $1,200.
Yeah, so you went over. You went over.
I went over, but honestly, with fees and whatnot, it's probably closer to $1,000 a ticket.
No, the $22 fee is included.
Is included, okay.
So $900.
But still, a $900 seat. And you can see Shakespeare for free.
Actually, I'm sorry. Wait, there's 6 seats available. There's 2 over there on the right side.
Yeah.
This is at the Barrymore Theater in New York. So would you pay $921 a ticket?
I would not.
No.
As much as incredible as that performance is, I am sure, and as much as I would love to see it, I would not pay $9. If I had the money to do that, I would, but I do not.
I've seen Denzel Washington in person, and he is dreamy. I might pay that.
I am sure. I think the most I've ever paid is like $300 a ticket for something.
What was that for?
Probably the first time I saw Wicked.
Really?
But then I realized that I overpaid. I went through a scalping site. Yeah.
Oh,
but that's okay. I have learned since then where to. Speaking of, we've actually been the victim of that for a couple of our shows.
So have we.
Scalpers have picked up tickets for the Callow. Just never buy anything that's not directly from us. Directly from our site. If it takes you away from the Callow site, that's not where you're supposed to be. And honestly, the easiest thing is just to call the box office. You can buy your tickets with the wonderful ladies in our box office, and there's no fees. If you buy online, there's a small processing fee. But if you buy directly from us, you're not going to get any fees, and you're going to know you're in the right place. So
now the 2:00 matinee on Saturday is now available.
The 3:00 on Sunday.
Okay.
I don't know. There's no matinee.
No, I'm talking about Othello.
Othello.
I want to go to if we go to New York, right?
Just fly to New York.
Okay.
There's 4 seats available in the orchestra pit.
Yeah.
$921 a piece. So
no.
That's incredible.
You guys remember there's probably also big blocks of those seats that have been pre-purchased by other groups that will then sell them last minute.
Yeah. It's amazing though that there are actually tickets available. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. There's tickets available.
For $900 a seat.
I said they're almost $1,000.
I know. Yeah, but people pay that. That's what's crazy about it though.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I have several friends who do work in New York, and I have a very good friend who does quite well in New York.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, feeling a little bit like, oh well, I just do theater in Kerrville, and that's not like what you're doing. And he said no. He's like, if you're doing good theater is good theater anywhere.
Yeah.
And he said, I have seen some crap in New York. And he's like that, if you're doing good theater down in Texas, you're doing the same work.
Yeah.
And I think we have an incredible theater community down here between us and the Point and out in Bernie and Fredericksburg, and this the whole Hill Country area has some pretty amazing theater, and we should really be proud of it and support it.
Here's my problem. I don't go to enough of it.
You don't.
I don't. I just don't go enough. I mean, I go and I enjoy it when I go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're trying to hit a lot of events in town, and you get that, and a theater show is a commitment. But
I don't go to enough and just not turn off the camera.
Take off your journalism hat and just be an audience member.
Be an audience member.
Well, we have a comedy coming in July that I think you will love.
Oh yeah.
It's called Lend Me a Tenor. It's Ken Ludwig. If anybody's familiar with him, he's kind of the modern king of farce. We did Leading Ladies a couple years ago. I directed that. It's really funny. He wrote the adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express that we did. We won a national award for a set design.
Yeah.
Wow.
So his comedy is coming in July, and it is hysterical. So if you're looking for a fun, funny night,
if you were to direct Libbie, myself, and Kevin, what would you just 3 people, what would you have us do?
Just the 3 of y'all?
Well, you have to be in it too, of course. So it'd be the 4 of us.
The
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to think about that.
Here's what we could do.
Probably me and Kevin playing y'all's parents.
Well, no, you and me could be the couple. And we're crazy old dad.
And the dad,
this
and
would be
then
our
the daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a Neil Simon thing.
I was going to say that feels very Simon-y, but I'll have to think about a title that might fit us. But yeah, it's possible.
The crazy old bird watching grandpa.
All I think about is that guy in Seinfeld who was the crazy one that kept running through the door. I could be Kramer.
Kramer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't have the opposite of the Kramer hair.
Speaking of Kramer, by the way,
Jennifer?
Karen Guerrero.
Oh, Guerrero.
She's very upset with me.
How does Kramer? I don't even want to know how Kramer relates to Karen Guerrero.
Well, Karen Guerrero, she was going to be on the show today, and she told me she couldn't because she had to go shopping for a new shirt because I shamed her about her shirt on Monday at the commissioner's court. She has a tendency to wear.
Why are you picking on her?
Why are you even talking about what a woman is wearing? It should be.
Well,
none of your
because
business.
look, it kind of reminds me of Seinfeld's puffy shirt.
Oh, I read that. Why did you say that, Louis?
Because it has like puffiness to it. You know?
I don't care how much you
like
explain.
a pirate thing.
Filters.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Amy.
Also, why did Karen care? Why didn't she just be like, okay, Louis, whatever?
She generally that's what she
I think
does.
she's just trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
She probably actually doesn't care.
Well, I did use a GIF of Seinfeld's puffy shirt, so. And she wears it. She wears it specifically, I think, to elicit a response from me when she knows she's me on camera. Like, oh, you're wearing your puffy shirt again. So, I mean, I think it's just delightful.
Whatever. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Right.
Isn't that all this is?
It's all entertainment.
It's all entertainment.
Every day is entertainment here as well. How are things looking in the theater, though? I read Jeffrey Brown's updates.
Yeah, like I said, they're looking good. I mean,
I recycle them, by the way, into the newsletter quite frequently.
Good. Well, they've been working on replacing the stage deck. Last week when I was in there, they'd have a big section of it torn up where the water damage had been, and they're replacing that. So that's really exciting.
There was that big unit that was like, you really notice it during the symphony because you should be able to walk back, kind of behind the symphony's sound thing. And there's like huge air conditioning units back there, or the venting. Is that all gone now? Do they take all that stuff out? All that crappy old venting? It was huge.
Behind the stage.
On the stage. It's like on the stage. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So if you're looking if you're looking at the stage, it's on your left-hand side. There's like a big vent that goes all the way up. You know
you're
what
talking about that unit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that gone?
I think so. Yeah.
I hope so.
I think that the sound cage is still there.
Yeah.
Where they store the piano.
Well,
and
yeah.
all the other equipment,
it's right next to that sound cage. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, and so.
And there would always be some mysterious drip, too. And I was like, "There's some water dripping somewhere
Why
back
is
there."
that water dripping?
Yes, I think all of that is part of the replacement.
Because it just consumes so much space. Like it took because it jutted out quite a ways, and you're like, wow, you could barely get that I'm talking about, that big riser thing they have in the back to kind of baffle the sound a little bit. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the shell. That's what
AC
it is.
units.
The orchestral shell. Yes.
The AC units. All right. Libbie, what else is going on with you?
Yeah, so live music on deck is the only event we have this week.
When's Larry Howard coming on the show?
Larry Howard is coming on sometime this week. He's going to talk about our Standing Ovation Fund, which is helping pay off the last bit of our debt that we have from the renovation. And we're really close. I think yesterday we got a count of 72,000 that we've raised so far. We have a little less than 60 days to raise 150. So I did the math earlier. What was that? It's about like 78, I think, away from 150. So we're close. And the Community Foundation is helping us with that. They found a matching donor who would match up to 150. So nice. We're chugging along on that. We're optimistic because we've raised so much so far, but also we do realize that the grunt work is not over yet. So, but yeah, that's what we've got going on this week. But then next week we have 2 movies for their iconic film series sponsored by Art to Heart. We have Rocky And then we have ET on Saturday. And in between, we have it on deck outside. So lots of affordable, free events this month. And then towards the end of the month, we have Jason Bullen and the Stragglers on the 21st.
And coming in July.
Yeah, coming in July, we have the Blues Brothers, which we're really excited about.
Orange Whip. Orange Whip. Orange Whip. You guys want Orange Whip?
Yeah.
You're going to make Orange Whips, right?
Sure.
Now, Stacy said that there would be... Now, here's the deal.
She's not spoken to me anything about Blues Brothers.
So, if you remember in the iconic part of the end of it, when Cab Calloway comes out, John Candy's there with all the cops, to arrest the Blues Brothers. And he looks around, he's like, Orange Whip, Orange Whip, Orange Whip. And Julie Davis...
Well, we will have to make an Orange Whip.
She's like, oh, this is delightful. This looks like a delicious cocktail.
Yeah, maybe we can whip some.
Got rum and...
Are you an Orange Whip is?
Yeah.
No, I need to figure that out.
That sounds tropical.
It does. It sounds fun.
Here it is. Orange Whip.
I hope there's foam on it. I like a foamy cocktail.
Okay, wait a minute. Somehow it's taking me to a golf thing. Okay, it's Orange Whip is a sweet cocktail made with rum, vodka, cream, and orange juice. It's typically blended to a froth like a milkshake and poured over ice in a Collins glass.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dreamsicle.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a dreamsicle.
Yeah, and so So I told Julie Davis that, I was going to serve her. You haven't seen the movie either.
No.
And there's someone else who hasn't seen the movie either. There's a whole bunch of people who haven't seen this movie, so we're going to have...
I will be present.
But you're going to have to be... You can't work that day. We gotta find.
It's not really.
We gotta get you the day off.
Can't just say I'm not working.
I'm sure we could arrange that.
I gotta talk to Stacey about that.
Under a month.
You gotta take the day off for that.
But we have Kerrville's Fourth in the River in exactly 1 month.
When do you announce? When is Stacey gonna announce this?
Oh,
this
like
headline?
Very soon.
All right.
Like we're working on it.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Right. We have a date, but I can't.
Will it be a puppet show?
Yeah.
Okay. Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla and the Puppet Show.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Oh, all right. What'd you learn today, Libbie on the label?
Oh, I had my answer earlier. Oh, no. And it was a good one, too.
Come back to it. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, come back.
Amy Goodyear, what'd you learn today?
I learned that Wild Birds Unlimited won this amazing
award
an amazing 3
award.
times.
Yeah, that's a great
I think
story.
That's really, really cool.
Congratulations, Kevin Pillow. What'd you learn today, Kevin Pillow?
I learned more about Neil Diamond than I ever thought I would.
You should go to that show.
I can sing the song.
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
know that much about Neil Diamond. So.
What I learned just a minute ago is that Symphony of the Hills is going to be on they're going to come be part of Nonprofit Week.
Oh, good.
They signed up.
They've announced their concerts and they're selling their memberships right now,
right.
but we're not yet selling individual tickets because they like handle all their membership seating and then they pass it on to us for individual tickets.
So we have technically one spot left for Nonprofit Week after that edition. So we're at 39 nonprofits for the 2020.
Cool.
And then I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm gonna add 10 more because that's a lot of work. But we'll figure it out. We'll probably make it happen. I have trouble saying no a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, all right, Libbie. What'd you learn?
I learned that Neil Diamond's going to be here for 3 days.
Neil Diamond is not going to. Neil Diamond is really, really old and not touring anymore. I'm seriously though. I'm worried about people. I'm worried about people walking in and going, "I thought Neil Diamond." Like, so you really thought Neil Diamond was coming to Kerrville and performing in the VK Garage Theater for $45 a ticket?
Who said he was?
I mean, but here's the deal, right? I mean, if you think about
he's
it,
not.
Riley, what's his name?
Jack Wright.
Jack Wright.
He could just say,
listen to him. His voice. It's an uncanny.
He had some kind of he had surgery.
And suddenly he looks like
20
guy. Years younger.
Yeah, he looks 20 years younger. Like Kenny Rogers had that big old facelift done before he died.
Yeah, that's true. So. Yes, no, I do apologize. It's not the actual Neil Diamond, but we promise you will enjoy it just as much.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to close. I'm using my you got
to switch your camera.
Oh yeah, here we go. That's right. That's this one here. Do not give up on the books. No book banning. This is my Mark Twain thing. So, experience freedom. Read a banned book, which will be all of the books.
Freedom.
Probably here.
Where'd you get that mug?
I got it at the Mark Twain House in Hartford, Connecticut.
Wow.
So
there you go.
Thank you guys for being here. It's always delightful to see Kevin Pillow. It's always delightful to see Amy Goodyear. By the way, Department Q on Netflix. I highly recommend.
Department Q.
Yes, it's a new show.
Okay.
I think it's Department Q. Something with a Q.
Not heard.
British people.
Well, yeah, most of the good shows are from
it's like, I think it's in, I can't remember if it's in Scotland or Wales, but anyway, it's, it's British people. So,
all right.
From the Isles. So I recommend that.
I'll look it up.
Libbie, it was good seeing you the other night, even though it was the back of your head. Yeah. And I'm glad we're in agreement about, Next of Kin.
So watch. Yep.
Good job.
I'm gonna look them up.
No, they're super
they are super.
Well,
I have a video of them on the Facebook.
Sounds like my kind of thing.
It hasn't been banned yet. So anyway, all right. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip.